Hi, Maria here. Welcome to my channel. Today, I'm super excited to share with you some feminine but very powerful fragrances that every woman needs. They've got a sensuality to them, but they're also very, very elegant. So they would work for office situations, I think power jobs. Or if you just want to smell freaking amazing, you want these in your collection. I have a mixture of affordable, and then I've got one designer and one niche for you. But these are all gorgeous fragrances. They last long, so great value for money. They're giving off a little bit of a boss lady vibe, great for date night, but also great for the boardroom. Yes, I'm so excited. Before I get started, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that button. Join the Weird and Wonderful family. It would be amazing to have you part of the community, and let's get into this. The first is by a new brand to me called the Woods Collection, and this fragrance is called Secret. This is an affordable fragrance. This is the bottle. I just think it's so classy and sophisticated. Now, this is supposed to smell similar to Rouge Malachite. It's been a very long time since I've smelled Rouge Malachite, so I can't weigh in. However, I do have Maison Alhambra's Niche Royal Vert, and to me, these two are very, very different. So Niche Royal Vert smells a little bit more luminous. There's a yellow floral in here. It's less sensual. It's also an elegant fragrance, but less kind of boss lady and just more elegant. Like, to me, they smell very, very different. So it's got an orange blossom in the opening, but it comes across a little bit more neroli-esque. So almost a little bit green feeling. That's the vibe that I get. This also has lily. There's a woody note. There's a green note in here, and then also some vanilla. I don't know if it's the woodiness mixed with the vanilla, but there's a bit of an ambery vibe to this. It does have that kind of yellow floral, like I think like ylang-ylang or almost like a frangipani feel, as well as the white florals in this. But to me, this is super sensual. There's something really sexy and seductive about this one. It's definitely got a little bit of a darker edge than any other Rouge Malachite dupe that I've smelled. Not that I've smelt a ton, but I really, really love this. So yeah, this was a loaner from Hesse, and she wasn't a fan of it because she's not a fan of the yellow floral feel. Like I said, this has no yellow florals, but there is that vibe in here. This definitely has a little bit more of a grown woman vibe, like I'm thinking a CEO or something like that. But I am in love with this. I just think it's very put together and sophisticated, but at the same time, there's like this dark sensuality that runs through it that I'm absolutely in love with. The next powerhouse of a fragrance is Mind Games Prodigy. First of all, this bottle is so gorgeous. The cap is magnetic, which I love. And this fragrance is like, there's something about this that smells so rich and luxe. Like, I can't even get over it. It literally smells like money, and it's very, very potent. So like a couple sprays and it will last all day. Now, Mind Games is one of the most expensive fragrance lines that there are. I do have a 10% discount code on this, and all these fragrances will be listed down below. So this one is insanely expensive. So it's an extravagant purchase, but sometimes those pay off, especially if you like just one or two fragrances. This is a gorgeous, very powerful yet modern rose fragrance. So there's a bit of a coffee note in here. It's got rose. There's a little bit of cardamom in here. The longoza flower, which I don't know anything about other than it's supposed to smell a little bit bitter. There's definitely a good dose of patchouli in here, some vanilla, blonde woods, and sandalwood. You definitely get the patchouli, but the patchouli for me comes across very spicy. So it smells like spices to me. It doesn't show it on Fragrantica, but there's a creamy cafe latte note in here, and I get it in the sense that it doesn't feel like coffee, but it smells almost like a milky rose, like a rose that's been steeped in milk with a little hint of coffee. There's woodiness in this. I just think it's one of the most elegant fragrances that I have ever smelt. I love it. Now, this is so potent. A couple sprays, it projects amazingly. I did one time spray it like I spray a normal fragrance, and that was a bit of a mistake. It was so potent, it was crazy. But seriously, such an elegant, powerful, modern take on a rose. There's a little hint of sweetness, a little hint of bitter in it at the same time. I don't know what it is, but this is gorgeous. And this always gets me a compliment. So inevitably, men really enjoy this. So I'll get, what are you wearing with this fragrance in particular? And it smells expensive, like definitely smells expensive. Although, to be honest, I find that men tend to comment when I wear a rose fragrance for whatever reason. That is when I'll get a compliment usually, is if I have a rose fragrance on, at least a compliment from a man. Love this fragrance. It smells like you're not the CEO of the company. It smells like you own that company and many others, and you just take your private jet kind of everywhere. When you're not being ported around by helicopter, you're taking your private jet everywhere. Like seriously, this is gorgeous. Now the price tag, you know, you almost need to be able to pay for a private jet to afford this, but it is so, so beautiful. So love this fragrance. On to a Middle Eastern pick, Fursan White by Khadlaj. This fragrance to me, it's so weird because it's very feminine, but there's an animalic quality to this powdery vanilla that smells so freaking sexy. Like when I wear this, I feel a little bit like a bombshell. Like I don't know what it is about this fragrance. I don't know if I just find it really sexy or what, but I feel so incredibly sexy that I feel like, oh, I wonder if I should be in public. I'm kidding. This is so beautiful. I think what makes this feel so sensual is the musk that's in here. There's almond, musk, coconut, and vanilla. And those notes playing together along with some woods really gives this a very sensual but somehow powerful sensuality that I just absolutely love. So again, this is a fragrance that's uber elegant. You could wear this to work, and although it's vanilla and there's coconut in it, the coconut to me is really under the radar. Some people really find the coconut to stand out. For me, it's more about the musk of vanilla powder, not just straight up vanilla, like not a vanilla extract, but kind of like a vanilla powder, like so mix makeup powder with a hint of vanilla, and you kind of get the vibe, along with some almond, which has that kind of powdery feel to it mixed together, and then the musk. And the musk gives it a slight, to me, animalic vibe that is so sexy, like so, so sexy. So this is a fragrance that I think is gorgeous. It's definitely potent. This has amazing projection. Like all day, I smell this on my skin. Lasts forever. Great scent bubble. I haven't ever gotten a compliment with this fragrance that I can remember, but I'm just complimenting myself all day because it smells so freaking awesome. So I am so in love with this fragrance. Weigh in on any of these fragrances. Like, have you tried them? If so, leave your comments because I'd like to know. But I happen to be a huge fan of Fursan White. This is supposed to smell like vanilla powder by Matière Première. Vanilla powder is sweeter. This is less sweet. They're both beautiful fragrances. Of course, the original is gorgeous. This is a little bit of a less sweet take, maybe a little bit more musky. So I'm literally addicted to this. So I just love it. Another elegant yet powerful fragrance I think of CEO when I think of this fragrance is Tharwah Gold. And again, that bottle, it's so funky and different. Love the heavy glass. Like Lattafa really does a nice job of luxe materials in their bottles. So the cap is heavy metal. The bottle is thick frosted glass. So I just think it's gorgeous. This smells very similar to me to Libre Intense. You've got a lot of vanilla, a lot of lavender and some orange blossom in this. I definitely get the floral, so the orange blossom is definitely there. This also has some jasmine in here, but I don't notice the jasmine. What I get is that orange blossom, the vanilla, the lavender. There's an aromatic quality to this, but it's just so sensual. But again, boardroom worthy. So this is a boss lady fragrance for sure. Smells divine, and the longevity on this is so fantastic. And of course it's affordable. So really, really love this one. Another feminine fragrance that I feel is powerful femininity or gives boss lady vibes is Musc Noir Rose by Narciso Rodriguez. This is my absolute favorite Narciso Rodriguez fragrance. For me, the star players in this fragrance are the plum, the rose, the vanilla, and the musk. And that musk is so beautiful and sensual. It's so crazy because I really didn't like musk for the longest time, and now like I'm seriously so in love with it. So I love like a little bit of musk because it feels so, it creates kind of a softness but a real sexiness at the same time. So love it. This fragrance has a little bit of an edge because of that plum. So the plum gives it a little bit of juiciness. The rose is definitely present, but it's kind of like you mix the rose and the plum and you make some sort of jam with it. Like, so you kind of stir it all up and break it all up, add a little bit of that vanilla, and then throw in this beautiful musk that makes the molecules just go like this. So I find this is a fragrance, like if you could see it, like if you could see the fragrance moving, it would be moving like really like curling and wisping around all the people that you're at, kind of goes around the nose, caresses the cheek, keeps moving along. That's the kind of vibe that this gives. So it feels a little bit naughty, but it's still put together and elegant. So although this comes across kind of evening-ish to me, it's definitely a fragrance that you could wear during the day. And I always say this reminds me of a woman that is like, she's kind of the woman that everyone wants to be when they're dropping off their kids. Like everybody's coming with the pod, their hair in a pod, maybe they're still in their pajamas, they're all askew. They've just managed to get their kids out the door. This woman, it's not like she's dressed all fancy, headed to work. She's got like black jeans on, high leather boots, leather jacket, maybe a cheetah print underneath, which doesn't sound overly elegant. But this woman, she's so freaking brilliant. And you don't want to cross her. Like whatever you do not want to cross this woman because she is a CIA operative and she could take you out. Like she could take you down so many different ways. So nobody knows that, but everybody can feel the vibe. And so they just kind of toe the line. But at the same time, she's always engaged with her kids, always at the plays. Like she's on top of it. She's on top of her game all the way. But she's also a little bit of a wildcat underneath. And that's this. Why do I have to do that? Why do I have to get weird? It's like a wildcat. Yeah! But I just love this fragrance. So Musc Noir Rose for her. It's seriously so elegant, so sensual, yet perfect for like the boss lady vibe again. Powerfully feminine, absolutely. The next fragrance that is powerfully feminine is Peace and Love by Lattafa. Now this is supposed to be similar to Sois Malkaise by Dries Van Noten. This is such an elegant smelling fragrance. I love the way this kind of just works with my background. I kind of want to keep it out all the time. I love the white and gold vibe of this. This has a beautiful black currant and almond note in it, along with some rose. Definitely get some vanilla and then sandalwood. There's other notes too, but those are kind of the star players. I love the almond and black currant, and this just comes together to smell like a very sophisticated, understated, elegant fragrance. It's got massive longevity. To me, this is just a powerhouse fragrance, but there's something about it that smells so elegant, sophisticated, and very, very expensive. With this fragrance, I think of a woman that comes from old money, generational wealth. She's a philanthropist, goes all over the world. She smells like this at her galas and at the boardroom, and she doesn't need to prove herself at all. There's literally nothing she needs to prove. She's living out her purpose. She's living it out with style and grace, and she smells like black currants and almond with a hint of rose and sandalwood in there, and she literally smells glorious. Again, there's something about this that I find very sensual and empowering. I think with all these fragrances, that's the feel that I get, is empowered femininity, which is what I love. When I was a kid, I'm a Gen Xer, so I grew up in the 80s, and when I thought feminine, I thought frou-frou and frills, and I wasn't a fan at all. So it's so nice to think of femininity as something that is powerful and sensual and contributes and creative and just living out your purpose, whatever that is, but being comfortable in your own skin. And all of these fragrances exude a sense of power, sensuality, femininity, and you're gonna just smell amazing. And everybody needs some sort of version, or at least one of these, like seriously. So what are your thoughts? Have you tried them? If you have, weigh in. If you have other fragrances that you feel are powerfully feminine or give off that boss lady vibe, please leave it in the comments. I would love to know your recommendations. And other than that, have an amazing week, and we'll talk to you soon.